Hi everyone, greetings from Bees Labs. So we are extremely happy, honored and grateful for this event and for your presence. By thanking you all, I would like to get started with the event as there is always a day when a bud blooms into a flower. So similar to that, we here in Bees Labs is taking ahead one step further to make ourselves engaged than ever and also to accept new challenges as always. So this day is going to symbolize our key specialties, our key strategies, and the way we grow as Bees Labs and in Bees Labs. So to make it more clear and precise, I would like to call Dominic, the CEO of Bees Labs, to explain us.
Hi everyone. So very happy to see you all. Happy morning, happy afternoon, happy evening, wherever you are in this world. I think it's a very proud moment for us today because we are launching our first ever online event for Bees Labs as a town hall. Because what we understand basically is we ourselves are geographically spread, even in India. You have people from Kolkata, you have people from Bangalore, you have people from working from villages, homes. Our shareholders are spread apart in US, Australia, Europe, and there are so many people across the globe who are watching us today. I really thank everyone for joining us today, and I'm sure this is going to be really interesting because all of you are key part of this family. We are today working day in, day out on different stops, I think, which is going to really help you to understand where we are today. The most important part is Tulip. That's where we started our journey. The intelligent automation platform solely developed and proprietary of Bees Labs. And it's actually getting a larger momentum as I speak. Even though COVID was challenging, I could see a lot of companies embracing automation, and it's been a wonderful journey that we have been talking to many customers across the globe. And Tulip seems to be a very interesting product compared to our competitors. So I'm very glad that Tulip is gaining a lot of momentum. You're going to see what other factors that we are provisioned apart from what we disclosed last time. So we are already in iOS, we are already in Microsoft Teams. Tulip is being completely empowered for end users to really rock the market starting from FY22. So today, I have a key message to tell all of you, even our colleagues of Bees Labs, our employees, shareholders, what are we embracing as a company to scale? So altogether, we've been spending on R&D, building products, solutions, services, building our competencies. We've grown very well. We moved to a new office, and I think we are almost ready for scaling. And at this point of time, what we need to also embrace is the old way of time management. If you see the historical evolution of time management, the first part of the evolution came with efficiency. People started developing tools, technologies to probably reduce the effort and build more time for them. So it was a single dimensional approach. And there comes a 1980 revolution where people started focusing on a two-dimensional ways of time management, which is basically uh, importance versus urgency, and that's how they map priority. And what happens is this priority is always like a juggler, right? So you take a ball and then just keep juggling. So you don't know like which ball is on which place. Okay, so you started putting all yourselves in different angles. So priority is not actually defining the way you need to create time for yourselves for your tomorrow. And that's exactly where we are moving to the third dynamics. That's more important for this world, which is nothing but adding a significance to it. So not only your importance, your urgency is going to be a matter of thing for you, where urgency defines how soon you should be done, where importance defines like how much important is that matter for you to be done. You need to add an emotional context, which is called significance. So that is going to really change the game. So how are we going to make the significance is something that I'm going to tell you today. Okay. So what we're doing is the management of time is specifically moving not only from logical but also to emotional. So what we call multipliers. So what we want Bees Labs, all people, all specific employees I'm going to talk about today is be a multiplier. Don't be a person where you don't want to multiply your time. Can you multiply your time? I think I will have an answer to you very shortly. So what you need to do is you need to multiply your time, giving yourself an emotional permission. What you need to do is you have to give an emotional permission to say things for today so that you have more time for tomorrow. So what you need to do is spend things time for today, which capably creates the time for you for tomorrow. So the most important funnel that I think the whole industry is getting shaped up is called the focus funnel. I think you see that in the presentation as I talk. Whenever you get a task, so this is for everyone I'm trying to convey. Whenever you're trying to get a task, ask for yourself, do I really need to do it? Put an emotional context to it and understand, is it really necessary for me to do it? If you are not ready to do it, if you want to really eliminate that, start thinking about automating stuff. Okay, I'll give you a very simple real life example. For example, now everybody of us are paying lot of bills, whether you take telephone bills, whether you take phone bills, if you take credit card bills, and there are different bills that we are paying every day. And we are not spending time to register ourselves for the bill pay because we don't want to do it manually. We do not want to eliminate that task at all. We still want to get into the portal of each and every application. We still want to go to electricity portal. We still want to go and do card payments, but we are not embracing the automated ways of doing stuff. We are not eliminating that work. And that's exactly what I want you guys to think. Start focusing on automating stuffs for you. Start eliminating stuffs for you. If you still cannot do this, delegate it. What I mean by delegation here? The delegation is all about empowering your team, empowering your co-colleagues to do that work. This work might be inefficient today. It might be not be very fruitful from the day one, but after a couple of months, you already see that that work is moving away from you. And you are already reskilling someone who can be empowered to scale. And that's how the scaling happens. You can't keep everything for yourself and say, I'm the only guy who have to do it. And basically, you don't eliminate, you don't automate, you don't delegate. So eventually what happens is you are just bombarded with tasks, you start doing juggling and probably go to a crash. And that's exactly what you're facing today. So as a key message for you guys today, as the town for this beginning of the year, what I want to convey is please do focus on creating time for yourself. Eliminate things, automate things, delegate things. And if you cannot do any of these stuff, start asking yourself, is this task needed to be done now or later? That's the emotional answer that you need to call out. And that's what I call it as significance. If it is done now, you have to put a concentrated time on it. Say, for example, next 8 hours, is this the time which I need to do this task? And then you should be completely productive in terms of delivering that. The later part is always a conscious call again. It's an emotional call, it's a conscious call stating that it can wait. So it goes back to the final. So at some point in time, this weight of the task can also be thought through as basically a sum of the one of the bucket which can be an eliminate, automate, and delegate. So if we need to scale, if we need to be an automation company, if we need to embrace a lot of things that is in front of us, and if the company has to scale globally, the message for me today is to follow this framework and start making your time available for yourself for doing something more for tomorrow, and by which the tomorrow becomes more brighter for you and for us. So with this, I hand it over back to our very cute MC. So she's the intern. She didn't introduce, so I think I'll take the time to introduce Sashmita. So she's an intern. So today she's empowered. So I don't want to do this MC task all the time, right? So I delegated to Sashmita, and I think she's going to do the best. So let's welcome her back. Thank you, Sashmita.
Thank you, Dominic. You really set a good foundation for today's topic. Every product and the services we launch highlights the creativity and the skills that we possess. So here comes Vignesh to explain much more detail about the task and the products we launch.
I'm from the Beast Labs product team. I'm here to introduce a couple of things in this town hall. One is the Android version of our Tulip platform, and another one is the AI DevOps strategy of Beast Labs. So first I start with the Android application. So this Tulip-based Android application is for approving the user task, which is in the middle of an automation process. So what you see in the screen is that Android application. So we are using the Azure AD-based authentication for signing into the application. So here we are showing some KPIs and both the client and group task in the screen. So what you are seeing is is a KPI like how many tasks has been approved. So now a task has been claimed from the group task, so it will move to the claim task as of now. Then we can approve or reject, and we can delegate or unclaim the task using the claim task feature, which is available in the application. So currently people are approving or rejecting the task once they get the email or else by logging into the Tulip platform. But once we launch this application, actually people will get a notification in their mobile phone, and straight away they can approve or reject the user task through their mobile phone itself anytime and anywhere. So the application is in the final stage of testing, and we can expect in the Android Play Store in next couple of weeks. So this is one thing. The next thing is the AI DevOps strategy for BeesLabs. So normally people think that a machine learning problem is just a model that we need to train and we need to publish somewhere and we can get the predictions, and we don't need to do anything after that. But that is wrong. So there is a lot of things we need to do after publishing a model, like maintaining a model, retraining a model, like that. So in BeesLabs, for creating the models and all, we are going to use Azure Machine Learning Platform now. So we have gone through so many platforms like AWS SageMaker, Azure Machine Learning Platform, and GCP, and finally we are going to use the Azure Machine Learning Platform for creating the models. So normally in a DevOps cycle, like what you see in a normal software, so if any requirement comes in the sense, we can straight away change the code and we can just deploy it in a server. But in a machine learning thing, we cannot do that. We need to first of all understand what kind of training we need to do. We need to monitor the model. We should not allow the model to overfit or underfit, and we will not down the current prediction. So it is not like a normal software development cycle. And apart from developers, there are so many skilled persons will be there, like data scientists and other people, functional guys will be there in this DevOps flow for AI. So what you are seeing in the screen is the typical AI DevOps flow for our BeesLabs. So in BeesLabs, mostly we are coming across with three types of machine learning problems. One is computer vision, and next is NLP, and the last one is the decision tree based problems. So typically, first we will start with the data set. Normally, we won't get the data set in public for each and every problem we are going through. So there we are creating a general training UI, which can be used by our people for creating the training data set. Then we are feeding the data set into the Azure platform. Afterwards, the Azure machine learning pipeline will take care of for training the model. The model and the algorithm and all we can feed into the machine learning pipeline, as you can see. And once we go live with the service of the model, then and there, after the prediction, if the score is low or below the threshold, in the sense, we are planning to have a correction-based UI for the end users to see the result, and if there is any corrections in the result, in the sense, they can correct it and they can send back it to the training algorithm itself. We will use that for the future training, for retraining purpose. So this is the typical AI DevOps flow for these labs. So as of now, we are working with CV based and NLP based problem. So in our next town hall, I hope we will show a demonstration of the solution which we are planning. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Vignesh, for your insights on the technologies and the platform we work. And now comes the fun part. So always social media is the most engaging and important resource for any company to scale up. So here I have John from our team to explain our engagement in the social media.
So hi all, this is John. So I'm part of this design labs and Bees Innovation Lab. And now we're going to talk about our digital presence in our social media platforms and the digital marketing that we do. To add more meaning to the phrase global innovation company, we from Design Labs brought the digital presence of the organization, making it global. From gathering a fan community to building an actual business community exclusive for Bees Labs, there has been a lot of achievements, and not to forget, there has been a lot of learning as well. To start with our B2C vision, our first move was with the creation of an RPA course, especially for kids, to share lives over the Gen Zs. Going forward, we did some experiments on email marketing with EngageBay, our marketing tool that we have, leading to healthy cold conversations and conversions. Coming to the spotlight of the show, we diversify the B2B business of the community into branches, namely business development, ABM, and lead scrapping. So now I invite my teammate Shaha to give an insights and statistics about the social media platforms.
With regard to B2B marketing from our side, we have followed the economics of zero budget marketing. From now on, like we have concentrated on LinkedIn, the global marketing platform. As you see, like we have scrapped 260 plus followers in LinkedIn without no ad spends as of now. And we are expecting more leads from those LinkedIn platforms as well. And by the time we are having a meeting here, I hope the follower range is getting to 280 plus with regard to the current trend which you are planning and the scrapping content. And with regard to other aspects of LinkedIn marketing, we have posted contents with beautiful designs which is coming up. And in the coming quarters, we are expecting more leads from the LinkedIn platform. As of now, we have followers from global decision makers such as GE Digital, Ford, Cred, and others. We have also concentrated on startups, like building startups and helping them go into digital transformation. Such companies like EcoPay and other manufacturing companies like BMW India, and banking sector. When you come to banking sector, we have Standard Chartered following us. And with regard to consumer goods, we have Kevin Care following us. And regard to metal scrapping and other mineral resources companies, we have Vedanta following us. And we are not alone with the hospitality industry also. We have PL Hospitals following us too. So with the wide range of industrial presence and with Bacardi as a leading follower for us, we are expecting more digital presence in the upcoming years, and we also expect to grow the lead presence for our company and grow to large presence.
Thank you, team. It really feels good to hear that we engage a lot and also make people also engage a lot. So now comes the security. Security is always a key factor in any major organization or the company. So it can be the biggest advantage when it is handled well, and it could be the deepest pitfall if it is screwed up. So here I have Karthik, CTO of Bees Labs, to explain how we handle and secure our data.
Hi, this is Karthik here. I'm the CTO of Bees Labs. So today we are going to discuss about an important topic. So what you're seeing on the screen is basically the CAA triad, as what we call it. So a CAA triad is a model based on which the information security policies and the guidelines of any organization is being planned, or how it is being executed, and how it's been maintained. So that CAA model basically tells the information security establishment of an organization. So even though Bees Labs is a small company, we have a total of 20 plus people here. We don't want to rely upon people understanding or human understanding alone to establish these processes or these guidelines. So we always wanted to have a system or a process to handle this in addition to the human understanding of these. So when it comes to the CAA trade, basically I would like to start with the confidentiality dimension of it. So from confidentiality standpoint, whoever are associated with these labs, let it be an employee or an intern or an external consultant that we operate with, all of these individuals are mandated to sign an NDA before getting into any engagement, whether it is client side or an internal R&D. For all these engagement, we ask for a strict NDA process to be signed before getting into an actual development or engagement process. And when it comes to the login authentication mechanism of what we follow in these labs, all of our employees are authenticated using Azure AD, and all of our employees are asked to maintain a multi-factor authentication. So there is no employee who can directly log in using just username and password. So all these are basically set up to accidental use of credentials and misuse of user credentials. So this is basically set up as a policy in our company so that we provide better confidentiality to ourselves and also to our clients that we serve. And then when it comes to the maintenance of source code and the access of source codes, all our source codes are maintained centrally in our GitHub repositories with proper role-based access, which are aligned with the teams. So the code bases are always accessible only to the right teams. There is no repository which is not under this RBAC framework. And then what we have for future in terms of confidentiality is that we are trying to maintain a central asset management, which is actually in progress. And also we are trying to maintain a system which would classify and label the documents and the emails that is being circulated within the company. So we are trying to use Microsoft Office 365 information production program for it. And this is also planned in the coming quarter. Coming to the next pillar of information security, which is integrity. We start integrity right at the first step. So we do a strict background check of all employees and stakeholders who are part of these labs before starting an engagement. And also each and every employee has been given a proper employee induction and have been personally walked through on the security policies that are being that are governed in our company. And from a tolerance point of view, we have to a zero tolerance for any security lapses and violations. And basically, when it comes to access controls of our officers, we have a proper RFID-based access controls, and this is for across locations basically. And when it comes to the plans of what we have planned for integrity, we are planning to get SOC 1 Type 2 for our on-prem products and SOC 2 Type 2 for our cloud services. So this is planned for the current quarter, but I believe we will complete it in the next quarter also with 3 months monitoring period. And then finally, what we are planning to set up is an information security council, which basically is a body of people basically whom can be referred on account of any doubts. Because when it comes to security lapses, often the causes are that people don't know the implication of what they are doing. So upon any doubt, employees or consultants have, they can approach this council at any point in time and get a feedback and then take a step based on the council's feedback. So this is something we are planning for this quarter, and we will be announcing it soon on who will be the Information Security Council and to the internal and to the external stakeholders. And then finally, coming to the availability part of it, our core systems, which is the code bases and the project management tools, which manages the delivery of these code bases, all these are 100% on cloud. And all these have high availability already set up. So on account of any natural causes or any calamities, we are sure that we can recover these things out. So we have 100% HA availability for our code bases and project management tools. When it comes to the location-based availability, we have operating team sitting at Pune, Kolkata, and Chennai. So basically it covers the 3 regions of India, south, west, and east respectively. So we can do continuous development or on-demand critical support for our mission critical systems if at all we face some availability issues in one particular region. And when it comes to the IT infra of availability, we are planning to migrate our physical assets from actual hardware laptops to Azure-based Windows Visual Desktop, which we are already started and we mostly completed within a month or so. So going forward, all the employees of Beast Labs will be accessing VM workspaces through Azure, and this way we can ensure our clients that the access is given to only the needed people, and also we can get automatic SOC 2 reports of these access, and it can be presented directly to our clients. So these are the steps that we are taking when it comes to information security. And as we know, the trade-off is that we want to implement all these pillars, all these action items over the 3 different pillars without affecting the productivity of the company. So that's the core value that we are having, and that is the aim that we have to we are trying to proceed as well. So yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to cover this town hall. So hopefully this will cover in the upcoming town halls, and we'll be sharing the updates on the work in progress items. So thank you.
Thank you, Karthik, for your information. In Beast Labs, the biggest assets we have is our resources. And the learning and the knowledge management team spends tremendous amount and time in making our human resources to engage with different skill set and knowledge. So here I have Lindsay to explain much more about it.
Hi, I'm Lindsay here. As you all hear the message from our CEO, the learning and management of Beast Labs helps our employees to enable themselves to move forward with a lot of confidence. For that, we have defined a LQM strategy, and I'm going to share it with you all. Our in-house strategy, the phase 1 is context situation analysis. Here, the lead should analyze what to learn, what benefit they will get from it, what outcome they can give for the company, and then they list in the given template. After seeing all the implications and insights, I will move to the second phase, that is define strategic choices and vision. Here I will define all the, based on the vision, priorities and gaps, I will put everything to the management and get the approval. The third phase is the structure and process. Here, after getting the approval, I will structure the learning and move towards the process of learning. Now, the learning is defined and the process is structured. So, how to do it properly in our Beast Labs? For that, I'm going to implement a culture in Beast Labs. That is, monthly once LK meeting with all the leads to discuss their requirements and the process of learning for their teams. Also, continuous learning, tracking after learning, tracking of employees to see how they are using their learning in their working process. Now, we define the structure, we define the process and the culture, but how do we know the people are getting benefited from it? For that, there will be individual or separate discussion with the people to know about their learning process, whether they get opportunity to work on it, how they are getting benefited from it. To make all this process interesting and active, we are planning to reward the people based on their some measures. Here comes the final phase, that is implement and experiment. Even though I implement the actual action plan properly, I'm going to face a lot of flaws. To overcome and make it better, the learning loop will continue its process. It will keep on processing. The key to success is dedication to lifelong learning. So there will be continuous and dedicated learning in our Beast Labs. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay, for making it more clear and understandable. Here in Beast Labs, we spending time with our clients is always the moment that we cherish. We trying to satisfy their needs and serving them the most is the part where we all come together. So here I have our competency leaders to explain much more about it and fill our minds with their thoughts.
Hi everybody, welcome to the town hall. This is Bharat from Projects Delivery. I'm here to present you some interesting stuff we did to our customer, which is a large beverage manufacturer. Over a period of last 3 months, from the Q3, we have brought in some interesting use cases delivered to the customer. So we have out of 4 use cases, we have brought in some values to the customers in terms of letting them know their global cash reserves, delivering their orders on time, by automating their process of approving the orders. And we have also brought in some automated mechanisms for a material determination, as well as in terms of accounting to bring in some journal entry reconciliations. So this has brought in some value to the customer in terms of time and cost management. So this has added to our delivery streak 13 use cases over a period of 2 years. So as I speak here today, we have 116 digital FTEs running in the backend 24/7, helping the customers for their business continuity. In the last quarter, we have increased the user base of the Tulip from 150 to 450, which is a 300% increase in the user base. Then with all these use cases, we have never compromised on quality. And that is the result where we have this 99% success ratio. So this has laid us a strong roadmap to get more business from the customers, where we have almost 5 different use cases pipeline in this current quarter. So as I speak, we have started with automation over around 2 years back, and we have evolved also with a modernized finance application where we are doing some accounting reconciliation activities. You know, the customer is doing their journal entries and their accounting process to our platform, making almost around 15,500 postings every month. Besides this, we have also opened up a new service line from the crawl. You know, data is a hot cake as of today, and delivering that to the business for them to take key decisions is a much value-added activity we are doing. We started this crawling activity almost 1.5 years back. And in the last quarter, we have introduced a new service line called Data as a Service, where the customers will subscribe to the data. So as I speak, we have again some digital FTEs running, delivering 10 million records of data per month. And this this data as a service model has become so flexible for the customer, which has brought in some business within a short time. So we have got a new proposal to deliver in this quarter of nearly 32 websites, and this has a potential to increase to 100+ sites in the next financial year, the first quarter. So besides again on this web scraping, we have also increased our service lines from the data analytics point of view. So we have been increasing our competency over the Power BI to bring in more and more analytics point of view, and then data modeling. So we have started with POCs in the last quarter, and those are successfully turning out into projects in this coming quarter. So with this strong pipeline, I would like to come back in the next quarter as our success stories. So now I would like to hand it over to Dinesh to handle the MJE success story.
Thank you, Bharat. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to announce that we have MJ manual journal posting as new feature with our modernized finance application, Finance Cockpit. So manual journal posting is a tedious and important process to all SAP customers, irrespective of their industrial processes. With a manual journal posting in Finance Cockpit, users are able to post journal entries in SAP with 3 steps with all the validations in place. So users need not to log into SAP to post the journal entries. So the integration with SAP has been handled with our solid intelligent automation platform, Tulip. So we started the application with around 20 users, for including 5 company codes initially, and we have now scaled up to more than 400 users using the application at the same point and performing postings to SAP. So with Tulip in place, we have enhanced the approval processes in Tulip in Finance Cockpit. So we are also planning to release Android apps, iOS app, and also Microsoft Teams app to make the approval processes more simple and convenient. Even with integrations with SharePoint, we made editing the source Excel file online without going to the application directly. So we have now the success rate of about 96%, and the users are able to post more than 3,800 journals to SAP every month end. So thank you, and we are hoping to meet you soon in the next town hall with more interesting features in the application.
Hi all. We at Bees Labs have already tried to keep on moving with the latest and greatest in technology. As such, we plan to keep on taking new projects that falls on the path in our journey. One such project that we are working on is ClearDesk. Starting and managing a company is not an easy task. There are loads and loads of forms to fill up and loads to do more each month. And every day, hundreds of companies are getting created. Right now, all of this is handled by human accountants. But if you look at the numbers, they don't really scale at all. Soon, a day will come when 1,000 companies gets created each day. So what to do in such a scenario? How can we manage so many customers, so many accounts efficiently and without a lot of costs? This is where ClearDesk comes in. It is an accounting portal that will help accounting personnel make their jobs easier with the help of Tulip, our intelligent automation platform, and our expertise in smooth user experiences. This will enable our client in our vision to expand their business throughout India with minimal scaling in employees. This would be our first B2C application, and this would enable us to reach end users directly. This, combined with the automation, supplements our strength in automation and user experience. Moreover, we are integrating with Salesforce, a renowned CRM software, to bring in the benefits of Salesforce into ClearDesk. The vision of ClearDesk is aligned with the vision of Bees Labs, wherein we see a world where most mundane tasks are automated. ClearDesk would give both the company owners and managers, as well as CAs, a single window to view their company compliance and other related data. That, along with timely notification, would deliver a smooth user experience. Now, I would like to bring in Priyanka to talk more about ClearDesk.
Hi all, very good evening, and thanks Ayak for giving me this opportunity to continue and let us tell them on the key offerings that we do in this ClearDesk portal. So first of all, we would do this automated compliance for all types of companies that they are logging in to ClearDesk. So you all know there are different type of companies like private limited, LLP, and so on. And these companies have to do their annual filings in an MCA portal, GST portal, and so on. So they have to first know whether they are compliant or not for each and every filing. For this to happen, we do an automated compliance score and give the users to know whether they are compliant or not. And we again suggest them to take up their services and to have the compliance ready. The list of services that we automate to the end user are currently GST registration, MSME, company incorporation, and so on. And we do have so many services in track for automation. And the transparency that the end user gets with this is very enormous because for every service request they do, they are able to see the current status and they'll have a very right track whenever they want to interrupt or communicate with the client. And you can see up to 80% of reduction on the lead time to complete every request because most of the processes are automated and the end user interaction for every services that are there taking up with this client is very much less. And we are very much true on SaaS with Bees Labs Kubernetes, and we are highly available and ready to scale for millions of users right now, and we are growing on. And we are also going to handle the automated payment gateway, and we are very much ready to integrate a shopping cart with our ClearDesk portal, for which every user can add so many services into a cart and then go at a stretch for a filing. And thanks, Ayak, for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Leeds, for your thought-provoking ideas on this meet. And the end of each event would be the beginning of another new event. So the end of this town hall meet will definitely be the kickstart for the upcoming furious months. So here I invite Dominic again to give his signing off speech for the next beautiful months ahead.
Hi, folks. I think you had a very wonderful and interesting session from us. This is our first town hall. It's been a lot of dedication, We've done a lot of analysis in terms of using the tools, making ourselves more and more efficient in giving this back to all of you. If there is any flaws, if there is any things that you don't feel comfortable, please excuse us. But I'm sure that this is going to get enhanced day by day, or the quarter on quarter, as we begin our journey to implement all this, what we have taught, and become more and more the flying colors of what you are expecting as shareholders, as employees. We grow, you grow. So that's what I think we feel proud of being in this company. And I really thank, I know that people from different geographies of the companies have joined us. Our shareholders from different companies have joined us in taking out their time. I really thank people from CI Tech, especially Geeta ma'am, who's really supporting us in many different ways as an incubator for us. And it's really giving us a lot of motivation. So I really thank her for joining us today. I really thank our partners who are the main backbone of Bees Labs, and the investors, the shareholders who have really helped us to be what we are today. As you see the people speak, as you see the platform speak, as you see the success story speak, this is what we give it back to you as a company for what you have given back to us. And I'm sure that this journey is going to go a long way. If you have any questions, if you need any information, feel free to put a chat on this window now, or you can always write to md@beeslabs.com, md@beeslabs.com, for all your queries. We will be very happy to answer each and every one of you. And I'm sure has given us a new start for the new year. And I'm sure this journey is going to continue. Thank you so much for all your time, and have a blasting year and a blasting quarter and a blasting day.